Good evening. I'm Sama Morningstar, Queen of Feminine Embodiment and Womb Healing Specialist. Today I want to share with you about how we can awaken our feminine, deep inner feminine womb powers to attract and sustain the intimate and fulfilling relationships we desire. 20 years ago, I was in the pit of despair with longing to have a satisfying relationship that was sexually as well as emotionally fulfilling and spiritually. I truly wanted a spiritual partner. And that pit of despair where everyone that I saw who was in a seemingly happy relationship just would fill me with envy. Even my best friend at one point, I would see her and her boyfriend and just be, ah. And that pit of despair, I call that the dragon of desire. And when we shift that way that we see those feelings of desire, the suffering that I had around it was about my upbringing that taught me it wasn't okay for me to feel those feelings of desire, to want what I wanted, and that I needed to set my desires aside and do what I needed to do. Well, guess what? That wasn't okay with me. And so, that dragon of desire kept coming up. And it would even have me feverish and sick at times, because I just knew that it was my birthright to have the relationship that I longed for. And that desire dragon motivated me to take the steps that I needed to take to go on my own healing and spiritual journey, to explore the powers of my womb. I was doing womb artwork and exploring that and following that inner guidance. And 20 years later, I have a wonderful husband who I just adore, and we have this wonderful partnership and spiritual relationship where we're so close and growing together all the time. And so now I feel called to share some of the steps with the other women who might be longing and feeling this dragon of desire. And one of the first steps is to realize, you know what? It's okay for us to want what we want and to ask for it and to go after it and to do what we feel called to do inside to prepare ourselves and to move towards it and to invest our time and our resources in doing so. And so I wanted to share about one of the first essential, very feminine womb power that has been so essential for me, overcoming the early childhood patterning that made it so difficult for me to engage in close, intimate relationships. That first power is stepping free of the blame game. I mean, just being completely devoted to not playing the blame game at all. And that means with anyone that we interact with, that means even with ourselves, that means with anyone at all and anything at all. And so for many, many years, as soon as I heard myself starting to blame, hi Allie, starting to blame someone or something for what was going on and judge the situation as bad or awful, I would remember, wait a minute, I don't want to play the blame game. And I feel this is a particularly feminine power that arises from deep inside, of taking full responsibility, fully embodying this life and these challenges that we're given. And so that's the first step. And if you would like to learn more about the Dragon of Desire, I have a wonderful workshop coming up around the new moon, and I will be posting the link to sign up for that workshop. It's called the Dragon of Desire Womb Courtship Workshop, and you can sign up in the comments below. I'll post the link for that. And I would love to share with you more about these essential womb powers of attracting and sustaining healthy, intimate relationships. Which idea and perspective is it that you love, Allie Jean? Yes, so a little bit more about the blame game and how that begins to attract and sustain, if we're already in a relationship, sustain and nurture that healthy intimacy, is that if we are taking responsibility for everything in our lives, there's a magnetic energy. Yes, there's a magnetic energy of embracing full responsibility, where that energy is going inward. And I am looking at everything in my life and receiving it as a gift of learning, so that even when other people don't live up to my expectations or disappoint me in some way, I can take that full responsibility. Now, let's be clear here. There are many situations when telling people to take full responsibility is irresponsible, because there are many predatory folks out there that take advantage, particularly of women, and abuse women and children too, and that's a different thing altogether. So, but taking full responsibility in those kinds of circumstances is doing whatever you need to do to get yourself free of those circumstances, and then to nurture your own self back to healing and resolving those traumas. So that as best as you can, getting support, investing in support in resolving those traumas. And then, because we all have traumas of various degrees. I mean, that's why I had so many difficulties having a relationship to begin with. And so when we take that responsibility, then that one of the final phases of real healing from trauma is to find the gift in whatever happened, whatever we learned. And sometimes the gift is simply having a passion to help other people who suffered the same trauma. And that's a powerful gift, to then be able to give back what we've learned about our recovery. And that's exactly why I'm sharing about this now with you. So I invite you again to check out the link to the sign-up page for my Dragon of Desire workshop coming up in a couple of weeks, and I hope to see you there. And I'll be sharing more about it in the meantime, so I look forward to sharing with you again. All right, until next time, take care now.